Hey, what's up, guys? You have tuned into Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I am Shane, hanging out with Fox.
Ohio gozaimasu.
And of course, as always, we have our man Churchy.
I'm also here.
He's always here.
He's always here.
He never leaves.
We
Always
leave,
stuck in
Yeah.
the void.
and he stays here and works hard.
He does.
Well, I assume. I don't see him
know
any
what-
other time. I rock up in the studio, Churchy's here.
Today, we are talking about our newest adventure in the card gaming scene,
Yeah.
Wartide.
This might be our only collective adventure into the card games because
I think so.
we don't really hit anything else. I feel like
No.
maybe we've played Dominion together.
Yeah, Dominion.
Did
Yeah.
we play? There was another game, I forget its name. Keyforge.
I bought a deck and you never played with me.
That's kind of how we do things, you know? It's kind of
Yeah.
like Flames of War. But
Exactly.
yes, so we did. We're going to be talking about the games that we played, what
Yep.
Wartide is, how it came to be, everything
Yeah.
Wartide.
Wartide-esque?
Wartide-esque, Wartidian.
I don't know.
Yeah. Before we get into all that, if you listen to our episodes and you want to support us, you want to keep our lights on, keep that fan going.
Our only fan.
Our only fan. Would you like to make us two fans? Yeah. We have a Patreon where for as little as $2, we got many different tiers, but for as low as $2, you can get early access to all of these episodes.
Which is pretty big.
Which is massive if you care.
Yep.
Kind of pointless if you don't, but it does help us regardless. And we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It helps us a lot. If not, if financially supporting us isn't something you're interested in, we get that too.
Yeah.
That's our jam. That's what we're about. Just like everything, comment everything.
Subscribe, follow, click all those buttons that do nothing on your end, but do heaps on our end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We see a +1 sub and our moods go up.
Oh, it just makes the day.
Makes
really.
the day. Yeah. I could just leave work. I'm like, well, done. My
You know
day
what?
can't get
I
any better.
quit.
Yeah. But one more sub and I'll quit. That's a Hobby Homies guarantee.
God, dude.
So Shane, what is
I don't know
Wartide?
guarantees anyway. So, Wartide, the best way I can explain Wartide, and this is probably coming from the creator Lachlan himself, is
Sure.
crossing a tabletop war game, which is our jam,
Yeah.
with a deck building card game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'd agree with that because the premise of the game is, I would say, territory control.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You almost draw out your territory with 9 cards.
Yep.
3x3, is it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Is it
3x3, yeah, and you build a field, and as these cards here, they have, this is the back of the card, they have the 3-pointed Wartide arrow. Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
Churchy. The gold arrow always points to yourself, which is a card from your deck. That indicates it's your territory.
Yeah. And your opponent's cards point away from you,
Yep.
hence towards them because
is
they're
their
sitting opposite you.
territory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very cool.
It is a really cool mechanic. Yeah, Churchy, do you want to bring up one of the photos of the built, like the battlefield?
That's a
I
great
just
idea.
threw one together earlier, just so people can get a look at like the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
There's 2 decks there with a couple of troops and stuff on the field.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, territory control, and of course there's the movement and the attacking of the opponent's cards.
There's range as well, and
Yep.
it is quite like a tabletop game in that you've got a move characteristic, be it 1 square
Yep.
or 3 squares if you're quite quick. There's the left to right movement, you can flank, I understand why it would be compared to a tabletop war game in a card game.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, with this episode, we may struggle like we do in board game episodes to try and explain concepts through the audio medium.
Yeah.
As always, we've got videos on YouTube, but this is a podcast. So if you just want to hear, we'll do the best we can
We'll try.
to explain it.
Yeah. And we've only played a handful of games too, so bear with us on that front.
Now, you personally know the creator.
I do.
You're in with him.
Oh, we're in like Flynn.
He
dude.
basically helped design this game.
You could say that it's because of me it's popping off.
Yeah, I could say that. I could say a lot of things. I could say green tomato sauce is good, but I mean, not
Never
everything's
tried
true.
it, never will.
Okay.
So Lachlan, I've known Lachlan, since like primary school or kindergarten or something.
Yeah.
He's another local Little Riverorian.
Yeah.
That's what we called down there in the Little River.
That's what all 7 people from Little River call each other.
There's about at least 12 now.
Oh, wow.
It's growing.
It's popping off.
It's popping off.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. But since Lockie started making this game, he's been making it for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Sort of just on and off. Last time I was talking to him about it, he would tell me that, he'll go through his phases and then he'll throw it under the bed or something like that for another year.
Yeah.
Just get sick of something and then
Yeah.
pull it out again. And I guess that's what a passion project is. It's
Yeah.
something that you just keep coming back to, no matter how much it pisses you off, and
Yep.
you try and shove it away, which is good. And you can see that too. Like, you can see what he's developed over the time.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I feel like when I play this game, you can see that it is a passion project.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like some company or some person has just gone, let me just pump something out,
Yeah.
get a Kickstarter going, ASAP, fund the whole thing. I've got a
Yeah,
concept. I've got an idea.
Yeah.
I reckon I
Yeah.
can roll a bank with this bish.
Yeah.
The most impressive thing is when we played our first game, I don't know how many months ago of this.
Oh, we did it after a live episode, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And I kind of had this expectation, like, it's Shane's mate who's made a card game. I kind of expected paper cutout cards.
Oh, yeah.
Like proxies.
Yeah.
And I expected the game to just be okay. So I was blown away when I was like, this is actually a game.
Yeah.
It's actually a legit game.
And they're legit printed cards too.
Yeah.
They look great.
I would, if I bought this in a store as like a box with 2 starters or whatever,
Yeah.
copped it out and played it, I would think this was from
Hasbro.
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's someone.
But
for sure.
They're a good quality card. I'm not familiar in Magic or like Pokemon, like all those kind of games where people can look at a card and be like, this is a 2 out of 10 or something like that. It looks like a card to me. It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks like any card you get out of a board game.
Yeah. They do look great.
And the artwork works phenomenal. He's been working with a whole bunch of different artists. A couple that he's got on his website is Lady Kraken, Dominic Barrios, Danyan Street, and Simon Newport. So Lockie really wants to credit these artists he's worked with for so long. Some of them 10 years now.
Wow.
And every card has the artist on the bottom, which I think a lot of card games do, but
yeah, they do.
He's even got bios on his website, which is wartidecardgame.com. Check that out. It's got lore and stuff on there as well.
Oh, cool.
But
so when we play this, there's as far as I know, there's 4 different factions. You were talking about the lore a little bit.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the factions? We know that there's the one that I keep playing.
Yep.
Is a mecha Zoid looking. I mean, there's mecha robots. It's all mechs.
Yeah. Japanese inspired. They're called the Kigawa. Excuse my pronunciation.
Yes, you're forgiven.
Apologies, Lachlan.
You're forgiven.
I'll butcher this, but
the
Kigawa. So they're like a corporation.
Yeah.
Some of the fluff text on those guns is hilarious. One of them has a whole bunch of stuff, and it says, "Avoid using indoors."
I just picked up the rocket battery, and it says, "Please be advised that rockets are not permitted to be used on or stored in residential buildings."
There you go. Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. So there's the Kigawa, the Japanese sort of mechs.
Yeah.
There's the Null, which are your, for lack of a better word, Lovecraftian tentacle monster kind of thing. It's
Void
a dark
creatures.
god. Yeah. It's like one big dark god that they worship, and anyone who doesn't worship them just gets deleted.
Yeah, wow.
Straight up deleted.
Wow.
Some of these cards here, this is one of my favorite cards. It's called a little less something, right?
Okay.
And it's you can destroy one of your opponent's fields. So when you build the battlefield, you've got 9 cards. They're each a field.
Sure.
You can just straight up destroy one.
One of your
It's
opponents.
gone. Yeah, it is
Wow.
gone. So now there's a massive hole in the battlefield.
Yeah,
Whatever
that's
was there
cool.
is no longer there. And the fluff text here, it says, no explosion, no fire, no screams. 1 minute's there, the next, it's just gone.
Wow.
Which was quoted by an Empyrean infantry captain. So the Empiria is the final faction, the third faction. They're your World War, I guess, for lack of a better term, World War II inspired sort of military.
Yep.
Their little universe is just at constant war with each other. It's like one planet. And they're all got that, that World War II sort of technology, tanks and airborne paratroopers and stuff like that.
They've got that aesthetic.
Yeah, which is really cool. There's some fantastic cards in there. I've got some more photos which we can pop it later on, but
Yeah, sweet.
yeah. So they're the 3 factions at the moment, and he's working on more. He's got plans for heaps more.
Yeah,
but
that's very cool.
Yeah. For now, I read the lore a while ago. I haven't brushed up on it, but basically, each of these little universes are like a bubble, right?
Yep.
And bubbles stick together.
They do.
And
I know this as a new dad.
yeah. And they rub, right? And then the barriers between get thin.
Right.
And like different things start coming through into different universes.
Right.
Which I think is just such a cool.
That's very cool.
Theme, you know. So like you can just imagine you're just a grunt from this Imperia faction, and all of a sudden like a big tentacle just comes from the sky.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, far out.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to. So is it all the lore, did you say, on the website?
It's on the website. Yeah, it's got write-ups for everything on there.
wartidecardgame.com.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
Yep.
That's
We'll
cool.
put links in the thing.
Yeah. We'll have to do a deep dive into the...
Oh man,
The
we
lore.
could.
That'd be
so
sweet.
good. That would be awesome. So you played a game
Yes,
against Lachlan.
I did. Against the creator of the game himself.
Yes, man. How'd that go?
So it went well. I had played once before against you, who you taught me the rules. You did a good job.
Oh, thank you.
In hindsight, because when Lockie was reteaching me, I was like, yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I understand that. So it was just a bit of a brush up for me, which was great. So, I mean, the concept of the game is you've got those 9 fields.
Yep.
And you draw up your 7 cards, and you typically have one of 3 different types of cards. You've got either what would you call it, a minion, a creature.
Yeah. Bless you.
Bless you, Churchy. Basically, your controllable...
A troop.
yeah,
You could call it.
yeah, your boots on the
unit.
ground.
Yeah.
Your militant troops.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
for me, that's it could be mecha wolves, mech chassis, these little crab mine looking mechs.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
very cool. That's the bulk of my dudes, one of those 3. And those move up the field in hopes of, once they cross all, not 9, they got to go 3 deep, basically.
Yep.
They step over 3 of my cards, and then they get onto your cards.
Yep.
And once they hold one of your cards, one of your fields, for a whole turn, I then capture that field.
Yeah.
You can't get it back.
As long as it's not contested at the start of your next
Sure.
turn.
Yeah.
It becomes yours. So
Yeah.
then my card gets discarded.
Yep.
And you place a card from your deck down there.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet. And the goal eventually is to, right at the back of your fields, in that last row, right in the middle, is your home base.
Yep.
So once I control that for a whole turn and take that, or destroy it via a card,
Yep.
I win the game.
Yeah.
So you use your minions, your character, your creatures, your troops, whatever you call them,
Yep.
to walk up the field, hold control, eventually take your fields and take the home base of the enemy. But
Yep.
obviously, they have their own troops, minions,
Doing the same thing.
and you fight against each other.
Yep.
You check your range, you check your damage, you check their health. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
Either die or live, do damage, whatever.
Yeah. Some cards have armor. Some minions have armor, which is an interesting mechanic. Like, it is in addition to health, so you have to break that armor, and then all the damage after that takes off the health.
Yeah.
But if you don't kill them, that armor is there the next turn again.
Yep.
So you have to break it again.
Yeah.
So I liked that. So some things would take, if it even had 1 health, still take 2 shots to kill it, or 2 damage to kill it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was a very cool mechanic, and it mattered when I played my game. The other, so there's 3 cards. One's the troop minion things. The second is usually more, what do you call it? They're not called fields. They're more worlds.
Oh yeah, like the
resource generators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like bases. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
some of the Imperial one, you have like a few different ones where you build. You have like a tank yard.
Yeah.
A command post. So like different things generate different resources.
Yeah.
Null only have 1 resource, so they just have temples. So you just keep building temples everywhere.
Yeah, that's
I think
cool.
you have 2, so you probably have like energy generators or something like
Yeah,
that.
because
but-
I've got 2 different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they replace your fields, so you
Yep.
like you build this resource generator,
Yep.
and it replaces one of your fields, and it starts every turn generating you these resources, which is what you use to play the cards.
Yeah. Yep.
So I might gain 3. I forget what my resources are called. Matter and energy, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
So I might gain 3 matter and 2 energy every turn.
Yep.
And then if I build a new resource gatherer, I can up that to say 3 matter and 5 energy.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that's what I use to play my cards because they cost one of those 2 things.
Yep.
The third card is like equipment or for the void dudes like spells.
So upgrades or spells basically. Events.
Yeah, events. That's what
Yep.
they're called. So it's simplistic in that there's just those 3 different types. Every turn you gain resources.
Yep.
Play those. So my game was great. He was playing against the void tentacle.
The null.
The null.
Yeah, or null.
Null.
Yeah.
Playing with null, and I was playing with the mechs. And the game basically went like I would march my mechs up, and kill off a few of his tentacles, and then he would smite me. Basically, he had this card where he could destroy his own field and everything on it.
Yep.
And he did that 3 times in a row, so much so that it killed the front 3 fields that he had, which meant his whole base shifted towards me.
Yeah, so normally there would just be a big hole there, but once there's obviously a row, you have to just move the deck up.
Yeah.
Move all the cards up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm just playing around with cards on the table as we speak.
Are they all from the same deck?
I can't remember anymore. I can't remember. You can't see them either, but that's okay. That's all right. So and that had helped a lot because then I was that much closer to him.
Yeah.
And I think I got very lucky. Every card that was the right card to play is the one that I just happened to pick up.
Yeah, nice.
Or when I took a field or replaced a field with a resource generator, it gave me another one. So I was able to get control of the board and then just start pumping resources.
Nice.
At one point, I had like 27 matter or energy.
Wow.
And I was just free to do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Mind you, the whole game, I never felt like I was winning because he was always, I would put a troop out and be like, here we go. I've got him on the ropes. And then, boom, he'd kill that field. And I'd be like, damn, it cost him a field. But, I mean, although he's that much closer to me, I'm also closer to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's not as big a handicap as I first thought because for me, I was like, oh, sweet. You know, his home base is only 5 cards away from me now.
Yeah.
Whereas now, for him to actually start capturing my fields, I'm only 3 away from him, where I was 4 before, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was scared the whole time, but I actually picked up an event that I played against you when we played.
Yep.
And it was, if you ever control it, you can use this event once and destroy a field adjacent to a field you control.
Oh,
so I moved up the left flank,
Yep.
took his very last field on the left flank,
Yep.
and then played that card to destroy his home base.
Oh, nice.
And as soon as I put the card down, he was like, yep, you won.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know. And I was like, of course you know. You literally wrote that card. But, I mean, it was one of those things where I was able to win because of the help Lachlan gave me. He said, now don't forget, you can do this, you can do that.
Yeah.
This is a good idea in this situation, you know. So that was great. He was a great instructor and very humble.
He is. You know, just quickly to interrupt.
Yeah.
When I played against him the first time, which was way back, between one of the lockdowns.
Yep.
I beat him in my first game.
Yeah.
But it's because of the help and the coaching, right?
Yeah.
But then he tells me, he goes, halfway through the game, he's like, oh, okay, I better turn it up a little bit, you know? Like, oh, maybe I've coached him too much. To a point where, like, he couldn't, like, try and claw it back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But it's just great. And, like, he's a great teacher. And, I've like I said, of course he is. He made the game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, that's good, man. It sounds like you had a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and it was great to play the same deck I played last time because I sort of remembered little combos, little things that worked well.
Yep.
And it's one of those games where on the surface you go, okay, I get the game. But then after it, I was like, oh, wait, I can see so much like a deeper level of strategy.
Yeah.
That you would learn if you played against someone, you know, as good as you 10 times in a row. The strategy would adapt and refine itself into almost a meta.
Yeah.
And then I started to realize, you know, it's not by default always good just to rush your dudes down.
No.
Especially when you play against the null and they can kill their own land.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to keep a big beefed up unit that you have
Yep.
on your side of the field with range 3 so it can just shoot into their field but stay safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And almost provide like Overwatch for your friendly,
Yep, tower defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So I was like, well, that's a good thing. I'll try next time I play them if I don't want to lose. because I lost some big units to that.
Oh, it hurts, doesn't
Oh, it hurts a lot.
it? Yeah.
So I had a blast, and I was like, damn, I can't wait. It'd be such a good game to just play in a little tournament,
Yeah.
play
yeah.
5-6 games in a row against different
Yep.
opponents. There's also, although they come, like we're playing with kind of like the starter deck
Just
equivalent,
Basic decks, yeah.
there's deck building in it,
Absolutely.
and it's pretty
Absolutely.
free ranged.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I played my second game against the Null, and that was Corey. He warned me, he's like, this is a deck I'm just trying.
Okay.
And we'll get into that later on. But you know, he built his own deck with all these different cards I hadn't even seen before.
Wow.
That's how much Lachlan's got sort of in the pipe, you know. So
Yeah.
more stuff coming.
Wow.
But that was fun. That was good. So yeah, but man, I was lucky to play 2 games yesterday.
Tell me about him, man. I need to know, because I know nothing, actually.
Well,
I know
no,
you played
don't.
your first one against Ridley.
Yep.
Which was last sitting next to me.
Yep.
I don't know who you... Yeah, I know nothing. I was just so enthralled with mine. And then
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm out. So tell me,
Yeah.
dude. I'm excited.
Oh man. Okay, so playing against Ridley was good. She was playing the Imperia,
Cool.
just a basic deck.
Yep.
She
Like
was
a starter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is what comes like the starter deck.
Yep.
She had only played a handful of games ages ago as well.
Sure.
So we're both sort of relearning the game, which was good. It was good to relearn against an opponent.
Yep.
While we're both relearning. But oh man, there's so many times in that game where it's like, yes, I've got her, and then it's like, oh no, maybe she's got
Yeah.
me, and then like it just kept swinging backwards and forwards, and it was a slugfest, man.
Yeah, wow.
Like it was just like she'd like end up rushing me, and I'd destroy some lands and kill her, or I'd like send up some tendrils and kill her units. And then she'd kill them, and it was just like backwards and forwards, and it was a real slow land grab. Like every turn, it's like
Yeah, wow.
she'll gain 1, and then I'll gain 1, and then it was slow.
It's just like little victories.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
A war of attrition.
It really was. And
Yeah.
then I was generating so many resources because I had like, at one point I had like 5, I think, temples.
Yep.
So the base temple generates 4 resources every turn, and each additional one generates 2.
Yeah, wow.
So at this point, I'm producing like 12 resources extra per turn, right?
Yeah, right.
And sure, I've got some cards which cost like 10.
Yep.
But I stopped drawing them, man. I drew all my good cards early, and then like there was a massive point there where just the luck of the shuffle, I was just getting nothing.
Oh,
Just nothing I
no.
could work with. And then I'm like, I've got 46 resources here, and I can't do anything with them.
Oh, wow.
You know, I had like bugger all cards in my hand.
Because you had so much resources, you could play all your cards.
Yeah.
So you're basically just living by the draw.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
wow.
really was. And then I might get a card which is like allows me to draw 2 more cards.
Yeah.
It's like, sweet. And then I just get
Oh,
nothing,
no,
you know,
dude.
like she set up a really expensive like tank, and it got to my back line on my left, right?
Yep.
And I was like, that land's just been deleted. And she's
Wow.
like, my tank?
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, yeah.
Yeah. And you best not come back here again, else I'll delete the land again.
So
Yeah, you null in your land. You don't even care. You're just
nah.
like, all right, I'll take it down with me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but Nala are very like territory. Like you got to control territory, right?
Yep.
Because that's when you can just delete it.
Yeah.
You know, if you control more, it just gives you that option. Just be like, yep, no, that's gone.
Yeah, true.
If you
Yep.
control nothing, there's only a few cards in there that allow you to destroy an opponent's land.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or field, sorry. So like, yeah. Oh, and it was just a slug. She won in the end. Like I think we basically called it because I had like two fields left.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look, I've got nothing in my hand. Next
Yeah,
turn
yeah, yeah.
or 2 turns, you'll get me.
Yeah.
Whether I can like get 1 or more tendrils in there, it's not going to make a difference.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was good fun. That was great fun.
How long did that game take, do you reckon?
Oh man, after you left, probably another half an hour.
Really? So
Yeah.
probably an
It was
hour
like
all
an
up?
hour game, I reckon, yeah.
I remember when we played the
Yeah.
first time,
Yeah.
it was like that as well. It was a
Yeah.
slugfest, and
Yeah.
it was so... Like, I haven't really played an hour card game.
Nah.
Card games are notorious for being 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was just like... But it never feels like an hour because
doesn't.
you feel like it could turn your way at any second.
Yeah.
2 turns from now, you could be knocking down that base.
Yeah.
And then 2 turns from then, they're at your doorstep and you're
Yeah.
fighting them off. And then 5 turns, you're on the... Yeah, it's so...
Bloody
it's
oath.
not so swingy that it's not fun.
Nah.
It swings in the tiny degrees.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
suddenly they got the upper hand, but it's
Yeah.
only by a small margin. Then your turn. Like the tempo shifts in the game keep it so exciting.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like there wasn't a boring part in there. Like there was a couple of times where I could do nothing, and then
You just drew a card and went, oh, I'll just save it till next
pretty
turn.
much. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, well, that's useless.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
at one point, I was just drawing like temples, and I even showed her. I'm like, I can't place them because you own all the land.
Yeah, true.
She just laughed at me.
Good old Ridley.
Yeah,
She was like, I'm going to destroy this noob.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was really good fun. So yeah, I'm hoping that like he does more of these in the future.
Yeah.
He said it was a really good turnout.
Oh, that's good.
I left at about 8 o'clock, I think it was, or maybe 1:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's probably 8 or so people there.
Yeah,
playing
awesome.
By then, yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, so no, it was good. Everyone was playing a game. I played the second game I played against Corey, who was playing the Null.
Yeah.
And with an experimental deck.
Awesome.
I decided to spice it up, and I played as the Imperia.
All right,
So
awesome.
the army dudes.
Yep.
And I started off like flying, right?
Yeah.
Flying. I drew all these good like base upgrades or whatever you call them.
Yeah, sure.
I was just saying like I'm gonna build this, like
yeah.
So tank yards and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got a really good back line. I had like at one point I had like 6. I'm generating heaps of resources.
So your
right?
economy is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Imperia have 3 different resources to manage.
Wow.
You've got like industry, money,
Yeah.
and then like troops.
That's cool.
Like manpower, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So and yeah, I was just building him up. But I remembered during my game against Ridley, she was always struggling to generate the manpower.
Right.
So she had heaps of industry and heaps of cash,
yeah.
but not enough manpower.
Not enough boots on the grind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like some cards, you can use a combination of any resources.
Yep.
Others specifically require you spend the appropriate resource.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
But when I played against Corey as the Imperia, I got lucky and I was generating heaps of manpower. So
Awesome.
That was one thing which I noticed was low in the generation of all resources. That was probably the lowest one.
Sure.
Because fewer cards generated, right?
Yep.
So like,
Yep.
I was like, oh, okay, sick. All right, I've got like 20 there. I've got heaps.
Yep.
Heaps, right?
Yep.
And then like this card comes up, which is draft. So it's a sick card. Like it's such a cool card. Churchy, can you bring up one of the photos there? It's like got like a deck of cards laid out as a red one.
What was Corey playing?
Null.
Null.
The tentacles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So it was Null versus him. So
List today.
Yeah, it's such a the artwork's cool. It's like that 1940s pin-up like.
Sweet.
It's such a sweet card, and that allows you to draw. You just basically go through your deck, and you find as many draftsmen as you want, like conscript, like just basic grunts, right? And then you spend 1 manpower for each one you've got.
Wow.
And I'm looking at that, I'm like, I got like 14 manpower, and I'm like just going through my deck and like putting down cards. I just saw Corey go, oh fuck.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, I've still got 4.
Wow.
So I just put 4 out.
So could you have put 14 out?
Yeah.
You could have flooded the board
I
with 14.
could have just filled it. Yeah.
I should have done that, dude.
I should have. I still won.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Spoilers, dude. We're not there yet.
We're nearly there.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
Yeah, that was a great game. The experiment deck he was playing with had some really cool units. Like one was Encroaching Darkness, I think it was called. It's basically just a card that just has to move forward and attack every turn.
Okay.
So it's like a wave, right?
Yeah.
And so anything in its path just gets obliterated.
Wow.
It's got unlimited damage. Just kills everything, right?
Wow.
So I kept finding myself. I'm like, all right, I got to move these guys over. You'll play another one. Like, I got to move them back.
Oh, wow.
It was constant of that shifting.
So how did you deal with it? You have to shoot it or kill it?
You just have to let it go past.
Really?
So you got to move out of its way, and then once it's gone, move back past it.
So it actually slows you down a fair bit because a lot of things only move one.
Yeah.
And when you have to waste that going sideways, you're not advancing. So it costs you a whole turn.
I was lucky to get a few rovers, which are vehicle upgrades for the troops, and that allows you to move 3, I think, per turn, which is pretty quick.
Yeah.
And vehicles are great too because they take the damage first before the troops. Like any overkill done to a tile or to a field will kill everything.
Yeah.
You apply the damage to whatever card, and then all the other damage gets applied to everything on that thing.
Yeah.
So you have to kill the vehicle first, and then you start killing all the guys that were in the vehicle.
Yeah. Wow.
So there's some pretty cool things.
It's like protection. It's like an armor for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. yeah. So, oh man, but it was a shitload of fun.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it was. I think so that there is a Wartide Facebook group,
Yep.
which I joined, and I'm hoping that, Lucky will throw another one of those events on, because that would be very cool.
Yeah. He's also got a Discord server.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think you could join the Facebook page and contact him. He might be an admin on that.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
ask someone, or there
probably-
might be a link
You'll
there.
probably find it all on the website as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, wartidecardgame.com.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yep.
What is your favorite thing of each faction? Because you seem to know
Ooh.
all three factions better.
Well, I don't really know the Kagawa very well.
Okay.
I do. Well, I'll start with them, right? Because there's
Sure.
one thing I like. So when a unit dies that has upgrades,
Yeah.
they get left on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So you can go back and pick them up later on.
Yeah.
Or if the land gets destroyed, the field gets destroyed. They get destroyed too.
Yeah.
Kagawa have a little card or a little drone that can go and pick it up
Yeah.
and then bring it back.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, just like imagine there's like little cleaner bots come out and like pick up all this shit and
Yeah.
then come back.
Yeah, there is that one card, and any equipment that are on your side of the field or on your fields get
Yeah.
brought back to your home base.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is dope, because then if you got tons of resources, you could just put one bot on there
Yeah.
or one mech
Yeah.
and just load up with as many of those
yeah.
as you want and get going.
Yeah.
It's very cool. They do have that element where it's like, I think one of them's a base mech chassis,
Yeah. Yep.
and on top of that, you just add armor and like a las
And
gun
weapons
or
and
whatever.
rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you just march it down the field, and then a null kills the field you're standing on. You're like, oh, I lost everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's very cool. They're very cool for that.
Yeah.
That flavor. And because is that unique to them? Are they the only ones with equipment like that?
The Imperia have no equipment that I came across,
Sure.
and the Null have only one, which you can equip to. Like, there's a priest of protection or something he's called.
Yeah.
And he can get a staff which gives him like a 1 range.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
most things with a range of 0 have to attack. Well, they can only attack what they're on the same field.
Sure.
He can attack 1 adjacent.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. One interesting thing was there's no diagonal play.
Yeah.
Only forward. So you could go 2, you could go 1 up and then across
Yeah.
as a diagonal for 2,
Yeah.
but not 1, which is good. I think that needed that.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah,
would be too chaotic, I think, or too quick if you didn't have that option.
For sure, it would make range super strong as well.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
range already is quite strong, but it gets handicapped a little bit when you have to try and...
Shoot around corners.
Yeah, if you want to go
Yeah.
diagonally, you need range 2 instead
Yeah.
of just range 1. So
Yeah.
it shrinks the field necessarily, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
for that range stuff.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you could just sit in a corner and just dominate. Ugh! Just knocked all my cards
What are you
everywhere.
doing?
It looks aesthetic.
It does.
Yeah, all right. So what's your favorite part about the other two
Yeah.
factions then?
So Null would probably be the fact that you can just obliterate anything.
yeah.
It makes sense for a god, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Just this dark being. To
Doesn't
just
care about collateral damage.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. That's the thing about the law too. Like if you think he's doing something wrong,
Yeah.
it's like you just deleted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah. So
Yeah.
it makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's
So you can
sweet.
just be like, nah.
Yeah, gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
That's the Null and the Imperia. Oh man, probably the variety.
Yeah.
Like there's like 4 different soldiers, 3 or 4 different vehicles, 5 I think
Yep.
if you include the rover.
Yeah, cool.
And then the different resources to manage as well.
Yep.
It was actually fun the way that you could build your home base, and try and be like, okay, I need more industry, right? So I'll build more tank yards.
Yep.
Or you go, I've got enough of that. I'll build more. What was the other one called? Command base or something like that. Command
Sure.
room or something. Yeah. So they've all got their pros and cons. I really don't think any of them are a weak, like a below par kind of faction. I think they
Yeah.
can all be played at the same sort of tier.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've only got a smaller experience, but I didn't feel like... I just felt like every time I played against... Because I think I played against... Maybe we played twice last time we played, because I feel like I
Maybe.
played against the Imperia people.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe you played that to teach me, and then we played a game where you used the null.
Possibly, yeah.
So now I've played the mechs 3 times
Yep.
against the null twice, and all the games felt like they could go either way.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
about the cards you played, the strategy you played, when you
Yep.
played. It was more about the actual gameplay than it was the races themselves. You have to adapt a little bit too based on who you play.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because like I was talking to Lockie after the game, and I was talking about some strategies I saw that could happen that I found really interesting.
Yep.
And he was like, "Yeah, so your what are they called again? What's my race
Which one?
called?
The Kagawa.
Kagawa."
Yep.
It was like the Kagawa, against the what are they called? Imperia are great at like flooding, small chassis and just getting numbers on the board.
Yep.
No, sorry, the other way around. A big unit is very hard for the Imperia to deal with. So get a big.
It's got a lot of health and a lot of armor. Yep.
So that's really good against them, whereas that wouldn't work against the Null because once you step onto their zone or even on your own, they'll just get rid of it.
Yeah.
All the upgrades, everything you spent on it, gone.
It's gone. Yep.
So smaller numbers, more spread out, so that if they destroy a field, it's for a crappy mech chassis or whatever.
Yeah. And it's like, then they have to consider like weighing up whether it's worth destroying that or not, because that field, then you'll need to move around it to get, so it affects like your positioning as well.
Yeah, positioning is a big thing in the game.
Straight away, you could just destroy 2 fields, left and the right, and then force a bottleneck.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
But then if something steps in there and you got to delete it, then you lose that whole row, everything shuffles up.
Yeah.
So...
Which, like I mentioned earlier, isn't actually terrible for the Null because you've got these tentacles that you can just bring out. They're cheap. They move 3.
Yeah.
Which means in one move, they're on your field now.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, the opponent's field.
That's the rapid ones. There are some slower ones.
Yeah, I remember the slow ones.
Yeah.
They were easy to pick off.
Oh, they are, man. But they're like your chaff, They're like, you just
get them on the board.
Yeah.
Just to make someone waste a shot on them or
Pretty
something.
much.
Yeah.
When I played against Ridley, she learned by I destroyed one of the fields which had like 3 or 4 troops on there. And
Wow.
she's like, oh, okay. Then she started spreading things out.
Nice.
And I was like, well, I can't deal with that now. It's like I can't destroy, all the fields that she's got troops on.
Yeah.
I have to like focus on the heavy ones, right?
Yeah.
That's when I destroyed like the big tank that she put down, and
Yeah.
but like once she spread her troops out across all the different fields, there was not much I could really do.
Yeah.
When I didn't have tentacles coming out.
Yeah.
Or tendrils, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
And I had nothing. She was just
Just a
marching
wave.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I like the adaptability. And I like the potential of the deck building because as far as I know, there's not like minimum requirements or anything in terms of what you need to include. So it's basically like build whatever you want. You just need to follow these little... it's like there's little numbers in the bottom right-hand corner of every card.
Yeah.
This one says infinite, so I can have as many of these as I like. I can make just a deck with mech-based chassis.
Yeah.
But obviously that'd be no good because
No.
I'd be playing a dude every turn.
You need upgrades for them.
I need upgrades, and then I also need resources to be... So you've got to kind of figure out the balance yourself, but for example, this armor plating, I can only have 5 of those.
Wow.
It says non-standard armor plating can add significantly to the lifespan of a combat mech. So that's true. That is absolutely true. Now I want to read all these. A 4-legged wolf chassis is more complicated to pilot, but once mastered, the speed and damage show why they are so popular. Can move 3, damage 3, health 3.
Oh, yeah.
Range 0, but then you put a las rifle on it, and it's good night, left, right, something, terror, fright.
Yes.
So it's very cool, and I was looking through these, and as I was drawing them, I was like, oh, I can have up to 5 of those. The scavenger mech was my favorite.
Yeah.
Looks like a little crab.
That's the one that runs around and picks all the gear up.
Oh, yeah. So it can equip things without paying its cost.
Oh, yeah.
So you just run over things, from the dead carcasses of your allies.
Or your favourite mech-based chassis that have fallen in combat.
Exactly. These things just run over and pick it up and then they're ready to rock. So they're very cool.
Yeah.
But then you've got to balance it with your fields, your capture events.
Yep.
All your event cards and all your resources and and there's more cards than what we played with it.
Yeah.
So,
there's a whole bunch. But it's like he's got these printed, like, they're proper cards. He had a few experimental cards there, which were just like paper cutouts.
yeah, cool. Some stuff he was trying.
Yeah, and he built a few different, like he had heaps of decks there, and like he built a few sort of just fun decks just to see what will happen.
Yeah,
which I guess is this stage of the game. It's where you start trying all that sort of stuff. Like I think he's got the more than just the core together.
Yeah,
like these 3 decks is a game.
Absolutely.
Like it's
Yep.
a game. Now it's just like expanding on that.
Yeah.
So he's done the 10 years worth of work to get to this stage.
Yeah.
And now it's just, full steam ahead basically.
Yeah.
That's what held him back this year was all the lockdowns that we were going through.
Of course. Yeah.
So I think now, come 2022, he's going to get as many events in as he can, try and get a community going, and then hopefully go from there.
Yeah. Now, you raised an interesting point. You said going from there. If I was listening to this episode of Hobby Homies podcast, season 3, episode
43,
okay, sure,
I think.
And I was like, oh, this game sounds dope. Can I buy these cards right now? I cannot.
You cannot. No.
However, this game is very close to being kickstarted,
It is. It's in arm's reach of Kickstarter.
which is crazy. We're on we're on the forefront.
Yeah.
Because if you tuned in 9 years ago, that's not an arm's reach. You know?
Oh no.
So
no.
this is a good time to be excited about this game, especially
Yeah.
if you're local to us and you want to try and get a game in with Lockie at one of
Yeah.
these things.
Even with us, like we can
Yeah.
tease something up.
yeah,
Like,
we've
you
got
know,
I mean, you've got decks here.
Yeah, I got decks. Lucky gave me some decks.
You got a big deck there, dude.
Thanks, dude. Thanks.
It's a little bit bigger than my deck.
That doesn't matter size, man. It's
It's
about
how
how you play it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I played my deck pretty well.
I think you did too.
So
dude.
come on over and we'll teach you how to play your deck. We'll lend you our deck, and then teach you how to play with
Yeah.
our deck.
Or we'll play Wartide.
Yeah, we can play Wartide too. Whatever floats your boat. We're here for anything. We're at your service.
So yeah, join his Facebook group. Check out his Discord.
Yep.
I'm so keen to see what comes from this in the future.
I'm excited. He mentioned that if we wanted to build our own decks, to just like send him a message.
Oh.
And there's a card list either on his website or on the Facebook page.
Yep.
So I want to have a little look, and maybe I'll try and build my deck and have a chat to him and see.
Well, if you want, take that deck with you.
I'll take this deck with me.
Yeah.
I humbly accept. I love this deck. I actually was really interested in the Imperia. Have you got that?
Yeah.
Do you really?
You can take that with you too.
Oh my goodness.
You can take all 3 if you want to have a look through them all.
Oh man, that's so dope.
I mean, I'm not going to play myself anytime soon, so.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So hopefully we can cover it a little bit. We'll drop some, if we play more games, we'll drop some pictures in the Discord.
Yeah, you can
Let you
find our Discord links on hobbyhomies.com.
Yep.
There's links there for everything else. We've got merch, sweet merch.
Dope merch.
We're in some right now. You
Absolutely.
Can check that out. That's not ours.
From Cotton On. Yeah.
That's a way to support us too. You know, if Patreon's not really a thing, you buy a sweet T-shirt or a hat or rangefinders or other stuff is coming very, very soon.
Oh yeah, we'll get some more. Yeah. Bits and bobs.
But yeah, otherwise listening does
It helps tremendously.
absolutely just the numbers there and clicking all the buttons, following us on Facebook and
Just click all the
liking
things.
Shit. Yeah,
Commenting on the tubes.
yeah.
Liking, disliking. Go
It doesn't
on.
matter, yeah.
Dislike. No one cares. You can't see it. I mean, we know and it hurts our feelings, but
Yeah.
you know, we're ready for the criticism.
Each dislike is one crushing moment.
Yeah, and sometimes we need that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Keeps us humble.
It does keeps us humble. Yeah, please, if you are local and you're even a little bit more interested in this game,
Yeah.
hit us up. But we'll keep you posted as soon as this game starts ramping up to the point where it's within your physical grasp, your physical reach. We'll let you know.
Oh, you'll know about it.
You'll know about it.
Yeah.
We love this. We frothed playing it all
Fucking
the way
nice.
back then.
Yeah.
Meeting Lockie and playing with Lockie and the little crew that were there in Geelong at the
Yeah.
Geelong Guff.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. That was great.
Yeah.
So hopefully it does more because we'll be there.
Oh yeah. Bloody oath. So.
And how do you feel about that,
That's
Shane?
the wrong microphone.
Oh,
I quite feel happy.
yeah.
Box.
For those listening, by the way, we've got a little handheld microphone, not connected to anything, but I'm now using that instead of my actual microphone. Twice the microphoning power.
Doesn't work like that.
Dang.
Massive shout out to all our patrons. As always, we wouldn't be doing this without you guys. We've got Burnsy, Whack, Final Dinosaur, Joey P, Lockie, different Lockie, MJ, Lethal, Moose, and Pinny.
We got Elko, Churchy, Rad Rooster, Oliver, Hockers, Tricky, Aggro, Foggy, Adrian, Big Roach, and our newest patron joining just the other day, Steve Paul.
Shit.
Thank you so much, Steve Paul.
Steve Paul. By the way, I saw Steve Paul in the wild.
Well, you know what? So did my wife.
Really?
Yeah, she saw him today, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was he wearing his Hobby Homies t-shirt?
He was. Steve Paul, you're a homie.
Hell yeah, what a legend.
We've talked many times actually behind your back about you and wanting to catch up with you and play a game.
Yep.
With you and Jared, your mate. So
Yep.
we would love to. Can't wait. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for your support and everyone else. You're all so incredible. We don't deserve your money
No.
at all.
No, we appreciate it.
But we can't thank you enough.
And Churchy deserves it.
And Churchy does deserve it. And Churchy thanks you. Thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you soon. I think this might be
Oh, this is the last episode.
last episode for the year.
Yeah, unless you're in a jolly spirit and want to listen to some Christmas jingle bells.
No, maybe some bells.
Yeah, there might be some bells.
No carols though.
We'll see. We'll see.
Damn it, Carol.
Damn it, Carol. That bitch Carol Baskin. Hooroo, homies.
Hooroo, homies.